Hi, my name is Rich Bassini. I'm a full-time YouTube creator and a full-time eBay seller. And I just want to touch bases on both of those topics. This is the first time I'm doing a podcast, and I'm doing it on Anchor. I'm new to podcasting, so it don't sound professional or a beginner, which I am. I do apologize about that. Now, from what I understand, you can only record up to 30 minutes on this here. So, I could, I'm not, I'm just going to keep it like that anyway. I'm going to keep it at that if possible. Um, well, first, let me give you a little brief bio about myself, how I got where I am today. I went through two company layoffs and one company bankruptcy. And how I got started with both eBay and YouTube was back in June of 2016 was my last job I got laid off from. And I really loved the job. I really did. I really loved that job. I loved the people I worked with. It was really a great job. And I really thought I was going to be able to retire there. The company had a great package, benefit package, 401k, a pension, you name it, they had it. And I'll tell you the truth, when you're getting called in the conference room and having your manager and the HR general manager there sitting you down, telling you that they have to have a layoff, they're laying you off. And it's really depressing and sad. I was hoping to retire there, especially at my age. I'm an older person now. And I was hoping to retire there. I didn't really want to ever stop working. So what happened was I decided that I was going to, venture into this here, doing eBay and YouTube full time. And, that's where I am now. That's where I am at this point in my life. I'm doing, in eBay, I've been on eBay since July of 1999. And the same thing with YouTube, but we'll get to that in a second. I'll talk a little about that. I've been with eBay since July of 1999, and I'm top rated on there, top rated plus, and I'm also a power seller, which today doesn't really make too much of a difference. I don't think so anyway. I don't think it helps in boosting sales or anything of that nature. From what I understand, with the power seller status is you just met the criteria. You met the threshold. So let's say the threshold for the calendar year of 2020 was $3,000. I met the threshold. So it's no really big deal. The top rated seller plus is probably what you want to really maintain, which would be 100% positive feedback, and offering your buyers the best service possible. But I for me, it's been an uphill battle with eBay. I tell this to people, in my YouTube channel. I've talked about this before, meaning that if you can't make at least $100 a day on a daily basis, you're not really considered doing good, at least in my eyes, anyway. That's why I tell people, when they're talking about getting started on eBay, I want to quit my job full time and do eBay, and they see all these other sellers out there that are telling you all the money they're making on a monthly basis and so on and so forth. And, and I tell you the truth, I'm an older person, and they say with age comes wisdom. And, these young people coming in, in their early 19s and 20s, whatever, they look at things a little different than the way I see it. And it's really a shame because I think a lot of them get misled by seeing these people, here in the mountain, all the throwing numbers out there. And to be honest, excuse me. And to be honest with you, it's all a numbers game. It's all a numbers game. Let me just get a little swig of water here, folks. It's all a numbers game. I myself fell for that at one point, when I was getting ready to, when I was thinking about starting this here, and I'd hear all these people, oh, I'm making this much money, I'm making that much money. And, I'm selling like, I'm doing so many orders a month and a week and a day and stuff. And, and you could see it. You could go to the sold listings and see what those people are selling them items for. And, lo and behold, numbers tell no lies. And, when you're on eBay and you're going to the sold listing, that's their website. It's not like it's a fabricated website. It's not like you're going to that seller's website, and he's just throwing numbers in there. Like they say, what's that saying? The victor writes the story, right? So, I mean, there are people making money out there. There's no doubt about it. They are making money on eBay, and some of them are making money every day of the week and month to month, back to back. I talked about this even on my YouTube channel, and it's I think a lot of people who want to venture into eBay, doing eBay full time. All I say is, take your time going in, proceed with caution. Don't jump into it head first, without doing your research. There's a lot of people out there that are thinking along the same way you're thinking. They see the big numbers. They see people who have a successful, like now I follow 3 guys that I'm not going to mention their names either. They got enough notoriety. They're doing well, believe me. And they have YouTube channels. And these guys are doing very well. I mean, they're making sales every day of the week, every day of the month, back to back. When I mean month to month, back to back, I mean they're making sales every day of the week for the whole month. I mean, monthly. And some of them are probably bringing in $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month. All right, you got to minus the cost of goods and your value fees and selling fees and all other stuff there, your PayPal fees, and you should call eBay Feebay. But in all honesty, I've been with eBay for over 20 years now, and I do love the platform. I really do. I do love the platform. I think it's a good selling platform. I'm also on Bonanza, and Bonanza, be honest with you, to tell the people, to tell you guys out there, it's a good platform. But for me, I only made, I don't know, maybe 10 sales back in 2018 or something along that line. Had to be something along that line, And to be honest with you, it wasn't really something that I would say I would, jump off of eBay and go on, Bonanza, because you don't get that exposure. At least I don't see it that way. So for me to, I wouldn't give up on eBay, personally. Like I said, if I didn't like eBay, and I say this in my videos too, if I didn't like eBay, I wouldn't be with them for 20 years. I'm plain and simple. I have seen a lot of changes go on within the IT infrastructure on eBay, and with their cost of, the fees are going up, insertion fees and stuff, but. And they used to give you 20% discount, then they knocked it down to 10. It's a give and take. I find with eBay, it's a give and take type of company. They'll give you something, but they also take it back other ways, and they make it up with fees, insertion fees, final value fees, and all other nonsense. So, you get 10% discount, but they make it up other ways. Now, I got to say one thing. We're all talking aside here. eBay. It could be because of the coronavirus thing that they are being very generous with their free insertions. I got one for 200, another one for 1,000. I don't know how they used them. Then they had another promotional thing. They were giving 50,000 free listings. Now I'm lucky. I have 200 listings. I don't even know how that. I'll be honest with you. I'm a small volume seller. I only think I have to date 121 items right now, to be honest with you. That's all I have. And, I haven't been sourcing for new merchandise because for the simple reason is, the thrift stores by me are closed. Tomorrow they're supposed to be opening up. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm going to go. They're offering 50% off. I don't know how it's going to work. Normally I would be really happy, be jumping for joy, like, yeah, they're open, I can go sourcing again. But to be honest with you folks, I have 121 items right now. I do have people watching, a percentage of them, not a lot, but sales have been really slow. And a lot of people may say, well, they're slow because of what's going on. True. People lost their jobs. They're being furloughed. People get laid off. They're collecting unemployment and stuff like that. And they're not going to be thinking about, oh, I got to go buy that new digital camera on eBay. I see it for $200-$300. I can understand that. I just want to get a swig of water here, folks. They're not going to run out and buy stuff. I know I'm not. When I got my stimulus check, I didn't sit there saying, "Hey, I'm going to go out and buy that new Apple 11 phone, whatever it is, the Apple 11 iPhone, whatever, the iPhone 11 phone for what? What is it? Over $1,000? I'm not going to blow it on there. Blow that money on a cell phone. I have my little iPhone 5S. Takes nice videos, takes nice still pictures. It works fine. The only thing, and I bought it off of eBay. I paid $149 for it. I know it's not top of the line, but you know what? It works for me. I'm a very conservative and frugal person. Okay, I do everything. I buy out of necessity, and I use whatever I have around the house to circumvent the problem. Rather than go out and buying things, I have relatives like that. And they'll always say, well, they'll go out and buy things. They'll spend money foolishly saying, I'm going to go out and buy this particular item or whatever it is to have it in the house, just to say, I have it. It's nice to have. And folks, when you hear people sitting there talking about saying it's nice to have, that nice to have is tying up you're paying for it. If you're using a credit card, you're making it, you're going to pay the interest on it. And it sits in a shed or a garage, and you say to yourself, "Well, do you ever use it?" No, but it's nice to have. People keep looking at things like that, buying things. Say, "Well, it's nice to have," or "It's good for emergency purposes." I look at life this way. People say, "Well, don't you want to be prepared?" Of course, I want to be prepared. If I have to get something, I bought a snowblower one time. I was looking for a snowblower because I'm over here in the Northeast, and sometimes we have pretty hefty snow, and I went to Walmart. I was looking for snow blowers. They were all sold out. And people say, well, you bought it at the last minute. That was poor planning on your part. Absolutely. But you know what? I still have a good back. And Walmart was selling snow shovels. So I used a snow shovel. So I said, okay, next time, I'll be prepared. And I was. I ended up buying one of those Snow Joe electric snow blowers because I didn't want to deal with the gasoline and oil. And I ordered it online. It was at the height of the winter time too. And they just happened to have that particular model in stock. And I ordered it, and it came in the mail, got delivered. But I didn't buy that item to say it's nice to have. I bought it because it's a necessity. I am getting older, and I figured, hey, it'll save my back too, back pain. But I learned to, I did without it, is what I'm saying. And when the time came, I needed it. I bought it, and I didn't spend a lot of money on it. I think I paid back then, I don't know, I think $159 or $169, something like that. It's very inexpensive. I didn't buy no top of the line. It's an electric one. It's, it's a corded one, But I didn't want to deal with I didn't want to deal with gas. I don't like the smell of gasoline and stuff, and But anyway, but as far as getting back with eBay, if you're going to go into eBay, folks, I want to just keep this. I want to split it up, because I want to talk about YouTube as well within 15 minutes each, I figure. If you're going to get involved with eBay, the only thing I tell newcomers is do your research. Don't quit your day job. Do it as a side hustle or or a part-time business, whatever, something on the side. But don't quit your day job, because let me tell you something, folks. And I'm being upfront and honest. Okay, I'm being upfront and honest with you guys. Sales are really slow, and for the amount of money I made from the time I lost my job is no comparison with what I'm making on eBay. And what I'm trying to tell you is I am not making the money that I was making when I was working full time. Okay. So the choice is yours. I mean, you're going to do what you want anyway. If you feel like, well, that's yours. Maybe your situation is like that, but I'm going to go in it. I'm going to do it full time. I'm going to go in and head for. I wish you all the best. I really do. I wish you guys all the best who could do that, could achieve that goal. I'm still in the game. I'm still doing it, but I'm not making money every day, though. I'll be honest with you. So if that's any consolation to you guys, and if it'll give you any little insight as far as what you're thinking you're going to do with, more power to you. Okay. I wish you all the best. Kudos to you. But right now for me, I'm not making the money. I'm not even making $100 a day. Right. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I'm being upfront and honest. I'll be upfront and honest. And that's a low ball figure. And I say that in my videos. If you're not making at least $100 a day, that's pretty bad. So, and I'm not. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. So uh, please be careful when it comes to jumping into eBay full time. I'm not saying this to to discourage you or make you not want to get involved with it. I'm just being upfront and honest and telling you proceed with caution. If you got a good thing going, you got a good job, benefits, 401k, I wouldn't give it up to do eBay full time, because eBay it's not a guaranteed salary, folks. At least when you're working a full time job, you're going to get a paycheck every week, every month. You know what you're going to be taking home in a month. I don't bring enough money in a month. I don't make enough money in a month to pay the bills I have. So people say, well, how you doing it? Well, very frugal. And I put money aside when I got laid off my job. You got your severance package and eventually that runs out. So it's scary. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's very scary. So you decide for yourself. Okay, you decide for yourself. And let me tell you, if you are doing this as a side hustle and you're saying, hey, I'm doing good, I'm doing $3,000 a month, $4,000 a month. Remember, eBay is not a guaranteed salary. Okay, so the choice is yours. You do what you want, but it's not a guaranteed salary. It's not like a job that you punch in every day 9 to 5, and at the end of the week you're going to make your whatever money you're making at the end of the week. eBay is not like that, folks. And if people who are listening to this podcast and say, well, this guy doesn't always talk about, well, you do it for yourself. Okay. You may be one of many that may, follow suit with this here and say, I'm doing phenomenal. And, maybe you are. But I'll be honest with you. I'll just sum it up this way. I'm going to end this part of it, the first part. I would have never quit my job I had and back in 2016. I would have never given it up to do this. Being upfront and honest with you guys, I wouldn't. I had 401k, I had a pension, benefits, medical, dental. I mean, you would say, a lot of people say, well, a lot of companies have that. Yeah, they do. They do have that. But what I'm trying to say is, and for me, I wouldn't have never given that up. So choice is yours. I wish you guys all the best. And if people sit here saying you sound like a pessimist, no, I'm not. I'm an optimist. I'm still in the game, folks. You can check me out. Just go to Shop RJ Pacini for great deals. You'll see I got about 121 listings. I'm a small volume seller, but I'm still in the game. As that saying goes, it ain't over till it's over. So I'm still in it, okay? Just be careful in your making your decision. If you're going to make that choice one day where you're going to give your boss a 2 weeks notice, think about what I'm saying before you do that. That's all I'm telling you guys. All right. The last part of this here, I just want to talk about starting a YouTube channel in conjunction with doing with eBay. I have four channels. I have four YouTube channels. There are 2 that are dormant, and there's 2 I use. The main one I use goes under Richard J. Pacini. Well, they're all like that, but for the most part, they do have different names. One is Shop RJ Pacini for great deals. Another one is something with pre-owned merchandise, clothing, something like that. And I have 2 dormant ones that I have. So it's a total of 4 altogether. And I was looking just recently, just before, I was looking at the comments section on my YouTube channel. You could see your analytics and stuff like that. You could see comments. And I really would like to just throw this out to you guys out there who are thinking of starting a YouTube channel. Just another drink of water. I'm getting dry mouth. I'm sorry, guys. For those of you out there thinking about starting a YouTube channel, I love it. I love creating videos. I don't have the best videos around, but I love creating videos. I love sharing information with people, and that's what I tell people on my YouTube channel. On occasion, I'll tell them, I said, my channel is to help inspire and share. Now, what I just talked about before about eBay, I didn't really discuss that too much. I didn't get into detail like that on my YouTube channel because some people who come to my YouTube channel want to hear positive talk. But I always say there's a flip side to everything, right? There's the good and bad. But anyway, we're not here to talk about eBay this time. I already did that in the first part. I just want to talk a little about starting a YouTube channel. That question pops up like even my family members, not so much from comments, but people say, You're on YouTube? You got a YouTube channel?" And it's like, "Yeah, I got a YouTube channel. Yeah, what do you talk about in a YouTube channel? What are the topics you talk?" I said, "Well, I do the reseller news. I talk about eBay and, e-commerce. I talk about e-commerce related news." And they say, I also tell them I'm also a vlogger, and I also do some do-it-yourselves how to. I haven't done those in a while, so but I have over 1,100 and was it 188 videos so far. Um, let me tell you something, folks. Just to clear the air, it doesn't matter how many videos you have. It's not going to make you a YouTube celebrity. Okay, let's be honest with each other. It doesn't work that way. As I tell people I used to work with, I keep in touch, like, wow, you got over 1,000 videos. Holy smokes! They make it sound like, oh, you're so great. Now I know people that have tens of thousands of videos. For I think PewDiePie, what does he have? I think he's got close to 14,000 videos or something like that. I know it ain't 1,400. I think it's like 14,000, unless I'm reading the numbers wrong. But there are people that have big numbers out there as far as like uploading videos. This is nothing. I'm like a little drop in a bucket, so to speak, compared to those guys. But when people ask me, when I tell them, how did you create so many videos and what do you talk about? How can a person create 1,000 videos? And that's 1,000 different things, you got to talk about. Well, to be honest with you, when I started on YouTube, I started back in July of 2013. And that when I started that back then, it was supposed to be, I really didn't know. I just registered it. Okay. And I said, geez, I was trying to toy around ideas. What am I going to do, for eBay? Like, what am I going to, no, not eBay. What am I going to do with this YouTube channel? How am I going to break into YouTube? And at the time, I was selling on eBay at the same time as I created a channel. I said, you know something? Maybe I could use the YouTube channel to create videos, like demo videos, sneak peek videos, and intro videos. And I have to honestly say, I got to give kudos to eBay. They're the ones that got me involved with this here to get me started with my YouTube channel. And I have to say thank you to them. But anyway, so one thing led to the other. You start off with demo videos, sneak peek videos, intro videos. And then eventually I started doing the reseller news. I started doing little things that some do-it-yourselves. But recently, like today, before I'm doing this podcast, I was looking at the comments that people left in there. And I want to tell you guys out there who are thinking about starting a YouTube channel, don't be surprised. You're going to get some nasty comments on there. Okay. And there's two things you could do. One, you could respond to them, or number one, you could respond to them. And number two, you could just remove them. Now, I had some crazy comments on some of my YouTube videos, basically the demo videos. And, you get people saying, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy is this, that, and the other thing, and saying these crazy things. And some of them I respond to, and some I just remove because it's not worth my time and effort. I wouldn't make that concerted effort to sit there and respond to nonsense. People will come on there, even though you're trying to do good, folks, that you're trying to put out good content. You're going to always have trolls out there that's going to say something sarcastic or nasty. And you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. But here's the takeaway from it, folks. What I'm saying, what I'm sharing with you guys. When it comes to creating the videos, do the best you can. Be yourself. Be natural. Let your channel grow organically. Don't try to overstep yourself, and don't try to think too much ahead, because a YouTube channel shouldn't be, you shouldn't be taken back by it or nervous. I mean, look, I have a YouTube channel, and the main one has 702 subscribers. I have yet gone live on it. Why? I'm a little apprehensive. I don't know how many people would watch it. I don't know if I would, because I heard stories if you go on those things, sometimes you can end up losing subscribers. So I'm a little apprehensive when it comes to that. But on Facebook group, I'll go live on that. But I'm not really too concerned about Facebook. If I get people that unfriend me or don't want to follow me, whatever, on Twitter or Facebook, it doesn't matter. But YouTube, to me, makes a big thing. It means a lot to me. So these are the things that you're gonna come across. You're gonna have people that are gonna make statements, or that share their opinions with you, and that's okay. That's okay. They're entitled to it. But getting back to starting it, how to get into it. I got into it, like I said, basically by accident, or you could say, well, because I was doing something with eBay. But I want to say this because I only got 5 minutes left here. Um, when people say, well, what do I start a YouTube channel about? What am I going to talk about? And you know what I tell people? Talk about whatever talent you have, hidden talent you have. Okay. Whatever your passions are. You may be an artist. Maybe you're a person that loves to paint. You might want a YouTube channel on how to paint. Let's say you're a baker. You like to bake cupcakes or cakes or whatever. You may want to show people how you bake or how to make, you might want to share recipes with people. Let's say you're a carpenter. You might want to show people how to build things, give pointers on how to build. There's a lot of different things. YouTube is an open forum and it's free. That's what I love about it. It's free. If anybody loves free things, it's me, because I consider myself a frugal entrepreneur. The more things I get for free, the better I love it. But that's the thing I'm trying to say. That's the takeaway, folks. If you're indecisive, I should say, and you don't know what you want to do with a YouTube channel, just find the passions. Like that saying is, do what you love to do and the money will follow, and it's true. Well, I don't know about the money part, but you may get people that will like you as a person. And I always say, be yourself, be natural, and let your channel grow organically. You will get ahead. Look, I'm over 700. I have over 700 subscribers. I never thought I'd even get to that point, to be honest with you. Okay. I never thought I'd get to that point. And again, every day is a challenge with YouTube, because I might gain 2 subscribers today and I might lose 3 tomorrow. It's an up and down thing. And why people say, well, why would that happen? I don't know. Maybe the content, maybe they got tired of me. Maybe they don't like me. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. People do things for different reasons. Who knows? I don't know. But I know one thing. I'm going to keep pressing on with this channel, just like I'm going to keep pressing on with eBay. And folks, with the small amount of time I have left here, all I can say is this. If you have a dream and a passion, seek it, go after it. Because let me tell you something. You, me, we're all going to cross this path once in life. And you know what? Why not do it with something that you enjoy doing? Now, I'm not telling you go quit your day job, okay, to pursue this career, whatever, your YouTube, be a full-time YouTuber guy or a full-time eBay seller. I'm not telling you to quit your job. So please don't misconstrue that. But what I am saying is you could do this thing on a part-time venture, okay? Yeah, if you can't do YouTube on a full-time thing, it's going to take a little longer. But you know what? You'll get there. Believe me. When I started my YouTube channel back in 2013, I was just starting off with just little demo videos. And, when I look back at the videos I put back then, I seen them that they gained thousands. Some videos had thousands and thousands of views. And they were really nothing to look at. All they were is demo videos, me talking about an item or something I picked up at a thrift store. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how people, they viewed it. I got thumbs up, got thumbs down. I got some crazy, comments, which like I told you earlier. But if they were really nasty, I would just remove them. I didn't get too many of that. But, on occasion, you're going to get people that are going to, there may be name calling. There may be people making fun of you, whatever. But you know what? Don't let that get you down, folks. Because you know something? You're never going to see these people in person anyway. So what difference does it make? You know what you do in a case like that? Just remove them. Don't even bother getting into a cyber war with them, because you're not. In some cases, you'll show you're a better person by not responding to these people. Okay, you'll be a better person by not responding to them, because all you'll do is you'll create a cyber war, go back and forth, and you're better. You're much better than that. All right, I'm counting down here. This 30 minutes went really quick. My name is Rich Bassini, and this is my first podcast. I don't know if anybody's even going to bother listening to it or not. If you do like this podcast and you want to listen more, I don't know if I'm going to be doing on a daily basis, a weekly basis. I don't know what topics always talk about. Maybe non-related. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. Today, just to timestamp it, today is May 24th, 2020. And again, I just want to say thank you for listening to hear me out. I don't know if they're going to allow you to leave comments or messages, but if you do, leave some nice ones and I will respond to you. But thanks again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Take care. Bye bye for now.